Hi. Welcome. My name is Elliot. And we all have a destiny. The destiny is written in the stars. As we are them, and they are each of us. And there isn't a single star that isn't a constellation. All of us are ourselves and each other. We are of each other. We are with each other. And life is the achievement of this destiny. It is our birthright. It is our choice. It is the creation of free will and the majesty, the magic of creation and negation. And life is the opportunity to discover, uncover that choice that we've already made. And there is no separation. We are never separate from all that we are and all that we are connected to. We are infinitely a part of our own constellation, of our own galaxy, of our own universe. And the travesty of the space and time and the opportunity, because everything is for more love, more life. Time is constructed for presence. And what we've learned in our cosmic hearts, the betrayal, the deception, the too much, the injustice, is the scrambling of our language, the scrambling of our code. It's hiding ourselves from ourselves. We are constantly in communication with the all that we are. And great lengths have been achieved to separate our mind from the mind. But this cannot be done. It cannot be done, and it cannot be overridden. All that is has been allowed to be. And everything is about to change. Everything is information. Every piece contains the whole. And using light and sound and all the permutations thereof, like consumerism or sexism or race or nationality, are attempts to keep us discombobulated so that we can't clearly interpret ourselves, robbed of our own sovereignty, conditioned, and it's taken a long time although not as long as we think, to convince us generationally that we don't have the answers. But everything is connected. And in a sea of incoherent vortices, it only takes one to come unto themselves. It only takes one clear connection to a higher realm, a greater realm. For that connection to become contagious. This is harmony. This is resonance. When one being not just beats to the rhythm of their own drum, but beats to the rhythm of their own drum of the greater symphony. Then others recognize themselves in that rhythm, in that tone. And all that that one had to achieve to find that greater connection, with each subsequent connection, there is less and less that needs to be overcome. No one has to suffer as much as the first. That's why it's the worst. Second is the best. And third is the one with the treasure chest. Take that as you will. So as you return to yourself, recognize that that inherently means returning to each other. And naturally, that is going to be a return not just to the one, the first, but to whomever is the most like you. In complex systems, if you want to think of it like a cell, there are the parts of the cell that were amoebas, and they all had their own function, and they could only do what they could do. And then they learned to team up with other amoebas and single cell organisms. And through working together generationally, through time, it became a matter of fact that they were one, and they became a cell. And then these cells, they did their thing, but not everything. And they conflicted and they allied with other cells in their environment until they, instead of being a collection of single functioned organelles, became one thing in communication and conjunction with another. And another. and another. So here we are. The importance of becoming sovereign is just knowing yourself. Of the ability to look to yourself for your answers. Not knowledge, not all the information, because that is out there. But when you hear something that resonates with you, like any fucking word I say, you're not looking to me to be like, that makes sense, you're right. You listen and then you go within and you're like, I choose this. I choose what I am acquiring, adding to our own complexity. The challenge at this time, and if you're listening to this, I know that you resonate with this challenge. The challenge is as you become more and more your true self in this realm that is so backed up, so held back. We are being thrust forward toward a present that didn't have a past. So you find yourself now being a piece of something that has not yet taken form. You are an integral part of a complex whole that is greater than yourself. But hasn't yet phased into this realm, this time and space. So there's this conflict of being sovereign, of being at one, of being independent, and doing things, everything, on your own, and for some part of just yourself. But the more you do this, the less the more restricted you can start to feel. I've got to turn off the stovetop for a second. And that is how I don't burn the house down. I've checked that box, learned my lesson. Not kidding. Because as a single being, we can only do so much. We can do great things. But nothing compared to our part in a greater order. Nothing pales in comparison to our creation when we do it together. So as you continue to flourish and be something beyond yourself, go easy. Go easy on yourself. Because all that you want to do, all that you feel connected to, you are meant to do, but you're not meant to do it on your own, and you won't have to. Do your part. Do parts that are hard for you because they're not really your part. They're your stretch to try and connect to the part, the other, that most fits with you. Let your actions, let your voice, let your feeling, your vibration, your sound pulse outward. And you don't have to make a channel. You don't even really have to talk about it. Who you are radiates outwards. But part of the incoherency trap is that we just radiate outwards. That's what we've been conditioned to only recognize. What we put out, and what we put out comes back. And that's another kind of like trick of the lie. What we put out comes back. That's like describing a boomerang. Of what we put out comes back because it never really leaves. What we put out is our magnetic field. And we all have a destiny. And it's so possible to live your life and not achieve it. That is not popular knowledge. Because to live your life and not achieve your destiny, that too is written. There is an allowance for that. Because you can live your life and not achieve your destiny, but you are never, ever alone. You are never lost to yourself or the greater whole. You will have another chance. And if it helps, all of us in some way will not achieve the fullness of our destiny if we're awesome enough. Because every step towards our goal furthers the goal. With every new achievement, with every new perspective comes a new possibility. And this is not reckless abandon or endless consumption. This is everlasting life. This is eternity. This is love. And love we are so fortunate. It seems to be the overarching wonder and power of the universe that we live in. Because not all the universes are created equally. I'm going to do a quick pull. I'm pretty sure 2 cards are missing. The Tower and the Strength card. Because I'm using them. Apparently. I don't know, they're in there. Okay, cool. Used up. So this is a quick read on this, whatever we're talking about. So first, we have the Three of Swords, bottom of the deck, the Ace of Cups. For me, the Three of Swords speaks to the strength of the heart. It speaks to me of courage and stability. That no matter the weather, the heart remains true. Like, try and break that heart. You can't. When the swords, when the thoughts, when the power is your own, someone tries to slice through it, it comes up against one of your swords. And with three, from any angle, no matter the weather, rain or shine, and with the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail runneth over the universal waters of life. If you go like that, right? The rain is a good thing. Do one more. Message for you and me. And our destiny. Bottom of the deck, Three of Swords, which isn't like so crazy because I feel like I put it on top and then I like, it's not so crazy that it's the bottom of the deck, but that's also the pattern of life. It's not so crazy that it is where it is since we just saw it. And then, really cool, we had the Seven of Wands, followed by the Empress, followed by the Emperor, followed by the Nine of Pentacles. For me, the wands is very much the passion of creation. And 7 always speaks to me about faith, spirit, something magical, more magical than it seems. So, in terms of our destiny, with this, the 7 of Wands is commonly seen as Buddy standing on, like, King of the Hill, holding a wand, versus, you know, these 6 below it. But I don't see any hands. I don't see any malefic forces. I don't see a battle. I see a precarious foothold. I see effort. I see balancing, achieving, not stopping. I see a spiral, like a stairway of wands, one plotted after the other. There is no one holding these wands. There's no one against us. It's what we've planted with faith, one after the other. And what once felt like just a stick in the ground is now, it's starting to look like something. Creation. And it's fierce. We're determined. With the Empress and the Emperor, I see 7. It goes back to what I was speaking about with the with the combination, the coming together of complexity. The Empress, they are each in and of themselves creative forces. Destructive forces. But combined, they are given the opportunity to take on more specialized roles. With the Emperor in the mountains, and the stone, and the metal, and the gold, and the Empress and the waters and the trees, the light and the dark, more red, less red. The Venus with the short stalk, the Venus with the long stalk, the orb and the rod. It's what is achievable when 7 becomes 3 and 4. What also really immediately stood out to me, which I'll speak to, but this was first, was Venus. Because the Empress for me very much, I mean, it's easy to see with her sign, but what this speaks to me is the wholeness of the power of Venus. Venus whole goes from representing a kind of divine feminine, but when combined with like another of itself, Venus becomes a reflection of a divine masculine Venus and a divine feminine Venus. It's really quite beautiful. Because like what you see here is, you see like the trees there, like a little like hard, I don't know what's going on there, it's like hard to see. It's almost like there's a great light, and it's so bright that it's almost outshining the foreground. So it's like, but it doesn't outshine. It's not everything, right? It's like almost like this great light above, balancing, seated upon a darkness, the darkness, and not as like evil. That's a lie. Darkness and light are lovers. To me, this speaks of mastery. Above and below, the light and the dark. And then lastly, Nine of Pentacles. For me, in this read, this speaks very much to again a kind of union. And maybe what's next, an outcome. The combination of magic, of the unseen, and the fruition thereof in the real. The mistress and the bird. Who's very peculiar looking. It's almost like the bird has just the face of a man. The union of the seen and the unseen, the masculine and the feminine in each. Because I look upon her and I could see a man. Why not? With the grapes, the fruit of life, adorned by the order of manifestation. And it all comes from within, like a portal. Through the portal of our self-clarity manifests partnership in the real. And it's not, I love it, it's the kind that's like, it's due, it's earned, and it's the kind of beginning. 9 for me is unlike 10 in that it connotates wholeness, but it connotates the kind of completion or fullness, wholeness that spurs or invites something brand new. It's like a finally and here we go, all wrapped into one. Because we know who we are, and we've chosen love. Thank you for joining me. I love you very much. I really do. You trier. You living with passion. Not giving up. You keep getting up. You're seeking for answers to no more secrets. This is what coming together looks like. Thank you for joining me. I love you. Namaste.